My name is Zeynep Bromberg. I'm a class of 2024 at Harvard College studying mechanical engineering. So my ES100 project involves the design of a autonomous wheelchair securement device to be used in public transit settings. So basically, the issue that motivated this project is the fact that in wheelchair transit securement, there are no systems that exist that are autonomous, meaning the person in the chair can completely do it themselves, universal, meaning that it's designed to be adaptable with many different types of sizes and shapes of wheelchairs, and crashworthy, so strong enough that it can hold up in crashes. And so the idea behind this project was to redesign a technology that already exists called the UDIG, the Universal Design Interface Geometry, which is sort of what you're looking at over here, but it's a system for wheelchair transit securement that is all three of those things. But the problem with UDIG technology today is it was completely permanent in that it was bolted onto the back frame of the chair. And so you had two of these like kind of heavy metal arms that were located pretty far down away from the wheelchair user's center of gravity. And this is especially for manual wheelchair users, presented a really big issue. So the idea behind this project was to redesign this system so that it could be detachable and ergonomic, so the person in the chair could put it on and off themselves. Essentially, the way that this works is I have a mock-up of the rigid UDIG anchors. So imagine there are two of these blue ones. This is essentially sort of like a cut view, so we're seeing half of what goes on. And then the rigid anchors get put into place. Actually, I'll put this right here. In the floor of the vehicle. And then the wheelchair user would back themselves in, such that these two are aligned, and then once it's in place, the blue anchors come out and secure the arms to where they need to be so that the wheelchair doesn't move while the vehicle is moving. So I've always been really interested in urban planning and public transit. I grew up in New York City, took the subway to school every morning. And then last year, for the past 4 years, I've sung with the Harvard Radcliffe Collegium Musicum, which is the mixed voice choir here on campus. And last year we went on a domestic tour to New York City, where we performed at Lincoln Center and Carnegie Hall. And I actually was responsible for the logistics planning of the tour. And one of our members, a friend of mine, uses a manual wheelchair. And this was a major consideration when we were figuring out transportation logistics for the trip. Everything had to be wheelchair accessible, and not only once we got to New York, but obviously on the way there, we had to make sure that we would be able to provide that for her. And time again, we kept running into these terrible roadblocks involving accessibility and transportation. And just over and over again, it was really quite difficult in a way that it didn't need to be. And I realized that in many ways, this was an engineering problem more than anything else. So I did a lot of research about autonomous wheelchair securement technologies, and I got in contact with people who work at the University of Michigan's UMTRI, and they had a project involving UDIG that they had room for someone like me to get involved in, and it was perfect because it was structural analysis, it was this issue that I really cared about, and it was also sort of related to infrastructure engineering and public transit, and I honestly couldn't have asked for a cooler project. It was a really wonderful experience.